Preston, that was the angriest I've ever seen you in this whole time doing this. I've never seen you that angry as I did after that. Hey, man.
Just imagine, like I said, if I would have let loose with a bunch of cuss words, I would have been bouncing off the wall.
Man, Preston, I mean, jeez, dude.
I know. I don't know why I was so angry after that, but I was.
It was so funny because shortly after that, my uncle came by to watch the Phoenix race and to see the new house and all that stuff. And he said, man, you were pretty upset with all those people dissing Hamlin after the 500 win. And I remember that. That was the first time you met him. And it was like, oh, man, hey. That's his first impression of you. It's like, oh, no.
Oh, it's that guy.
Oh, yeah, that's that guy. But, man, we got so much more to cover here. This is such a fun episode. I'm having so much fun doing this. And now we get to probably one of my favorite memories of the show so far. And it was of you, and you just, you know what? Take a listen.
Episode 51, New Baby and Paul Menard.
Congratulations on the baby. How's she doing? How's mom doing? How's everything going?
Everything's good. Baby's doing well.
Good.
Hopefully, baby will be coming home within the next week. They told us about 2 or 3 weeks possibly, so wife is doing well. Much better than when she was in the hospital for like a week straight and losing her mind.
Oh, I can imagine.
She was, what was it? She went in on a Monday afternoon. She was admitted, and that wasn't counting the days prior to that, the week prior. She was like at the hospital, I think, 3 different times.
Wow.
And then she went to her doctor's appointment, and they were like, yeah, you need to go to the hospital. We're going to admit you. Get things going here.
Yeah, that was about 2 weeks ago.
And
when you said, nope, can't make it.
Yeah, and I thought it was she had told me, hey, my doctor said she doesn't see why I won't deliver today. And I'm like, holy crap, this baby's coming on a Monday right away. Like, what's going on here?
Right.
And the baby didn't come until Thursday night at 7:50, but she lost her mind for a couple days. I can imagine. Being at a hospital for like 7 days straight and
not being able to do anything.
Exactly. Yeah. So her blood pressure was up and down for a while, and then it got really high, and she was on magnesium to prevent seizures and whatnot. And yeah, it was getting a little scary when she had the epidural that Thursday morning when they said, yeah, we're going to go and try and get the ball rolling. So they gave her the epidural, and her blood pressure went up to like 190 over like 110 immediately. Yikes. Yeah, it got pretty scary. So, but they were just giving her all kinds of medicine to keep it down. And, I mean, they got to Thursday afternoon, and there wasn't really any progress being made. And they were kind of thinking this might go a couple different ways at how this baby's going to come. You know, they kind of mentioned, like, C-section. And my wife was like, that's not going to happen. And I was like, well, if it has to happen, it has to happen. I mean, what do you mean it's not going to happen? So, right. So one of the nurse left at 7 o'clock to do shift change, and there still wasn't really any progress. So like, man, what are we going to do? And then, like, I swear to you guys, like, at the snap of a finger, that baby was out in like 2 minutes. All of a sudden, things just like, she lost the, she wanted to get more pain medicine. So they were like, yeah, the anesthesiologist will be around because she was losing the,
epidural. Like
it was wearing off. Yeah. So they were like, yeah, they'll be around. And my wife was like, well, they need to hurry because, like, this pain is a lot. And she's like, I'm feeling this pain. And the nurse was like, no, it's probably just a contraction. And then all of a sudden my wife was like, she tells the nurse, Courtney, she goes, Courtney, no, something's there. And Courtney was like, no, you're just feeling something. And Ashton was just like, no, I feel a baby coming right now. And, like, Courtney looks and she goes, oh, there is a baby coming. No. Let's get everybody in here. And, like, it's like people were running into the room. The doctor sits down, comes into the room and sits down, and that baby was out in a minute. Wow, I mean, like, it happened within, like, 5 minutes. Ashton was just like, oh, my God, something's happening now. And, like, it happened. And it was just that fast. And, like, even the nurses at the nurses station were just like, we didn't think that baby was coming that early. We thought it was going to be an overnight thing. And all of a sudden, things just changed in 2 minutes, and that baby was here. It was like the weirdest thing in the world.
That's crazy, man. But everything's going well now, right?
Yeah. When the baby came out, she wasn't... There were times where she was holding her breath for some reason.
Interesting.
So they took the baby away right away. We got to see her for a second, but they took her straight across the way to the NICU.
Right.
But she's making progress. She no longer has anything to help her breathe. She doesn't have a feeding tube anymore. She's doing much better. So
Great.
people say that this baby looks like a fighter for sure. So
All right, man.
it's a good thing. So
That's awesome.
wife is home now. So now we're just waiting to get the all clear to bring the baby home.
All right.
Things
Nice.
are good, man.
Good.
There's a lot moving right
Good
now.
deal. Well, I did get you this too. In addition to the T-shirts I got you from Darlington, I saw this and this had Preston's name all over it.
Oh boy, what is it? Oh my God, is that autographed?
Autographed Paul Menard, big photo.
Oh
There you
my
go.
God, I'm hanging this up in the man cave.
Congratulations on the baby.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
No
I'm gonna
problem,
love
buddy.
this forever. If man, it's a shame
So-
YouTube is down because people would see me holding this picture right now,
Yeah, like
hugging it.
like his new baby.
Oh my God.
But in addition to the shirt, I saw that and I was like, that has Preston's name written all over
Oh
it.
man, this is awesome. Thank you, Beamer.
Yeah, no problem, man. Congrats on the baby.
Thanks,
I
man.
couldn't find anything for you guys or Ian except for the T-shirt. I figured, well, T-shirts will
T-shirt's good for my level of commitment to NASCAR at
right.
the moment.
We'll we'll slowly break you in, and once you find a driver and I find you something like that, well, then there you go.
Caught me off guard. Look at that vintage Paul Menard looking into the abyss.
So, Lou, that's your driver?
That was my driver. He's
guy.
retired now.
Yeah, he retired.
He retired, but that was my guy, man. One win in his Cup Series career, Brickyard 400, 2011.
Let me see that
I'll
photo.
never forget the day. Looking into the abyss.
Looking into the abyss. Now, two things about that episode. One, YouTube was down, but computer failed because of the power unit.
Yeah.
So we didn't have YouTube for like 3-4 weeks. We didn't have YouTube, so that's why if you're watching YouTube, it's like, there's a gap. Well, there's why. Two, I want you to take that Ford decal sign and hold that photo and hold it like you were holding that photo
Oh,
for everybody on YouTube
okay,
now.
so what had happened was Matt gave it to me. I don't even know. I looked at it and then I swear I hugged it
You
for
hugged
some
it.
reason.
You hugged it
I
just
swear
like
I
that.
hugged it like this. Like it was the
And
coolest
I
thing ever,
tell you
man.
what, man, you held that thing closer than your new baby. I felt like
I held my baby close to. but that was really cool.
that was a real fun episode, man.
It
That was
was.
after Darlington, and if you go back and listen to that, you hear about my Darlington escapades as far as that because that was a long day. But
Yeah, you really caught me off guard with that the whole Paul Menard thing. Look right here, look at my hat, Paul Menard right here.
that's right, man.
Menards, man. So yeah, that was really cool. That was really something special.
Well, I'm glad I got to do that for you, man. But going back more into this year's review, like we're doing here, we've had a lot happen. Like we stated earlier, we started a website, inthemarbles.net, where you can find your one-stop shop for everything in the marbles as far as our podcast, our bios, history of In the Marbles, marble heads, we've got drivers who we've had on the show or individuals we've had on the show, drivers.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a section on there called Unhinged Sports Network. And back in October, we were accepted into the Unhinged Sports Network, and this is the conversation we had about it regarding the Unhinged Sports Network and the announcement we made to the world that we were part of that network.
Episode 55, Unhinged Sports Network announcement.
Big news from us, just right off the bat, as I said at the top of the show, we are now part of Unhinged Sports Network, an online radio station that a few guys in Florida threw together, and they have a whole host of podcasts such as football, baseball, basketball, and In the Marbles is the voice of racing for that network. Couldn't be happier. They found us on Twitter and said, we'll give you a shot.
I think that's awesome.
And I think it's great too, man. They have a lot of good podcasts, and we'll promote them on our page as well. But yeah, man, I'm excited about it. It's going to be it's a big step for us.
Oh, very big step.
Hopefully get our station out there more, help them, help us. And it's a great opportunity, and I'm proud to be a part of Unhinged, man.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. It's really, I went to, when you had told me about it, I went to their website because I know that, I don't know if they had talked about, you guys talked, I think they said they were going to try and come out with an app at some point.
Yeah, they're coming out with an app here in the next few weeks, and it's going to be like an iHeartRadio app.
Okay.
And we're scheduled on there every Thursdays from 8 a.m. till about 9:30ish is our time gap.
And on Sundays, we're going to do what's called encores. So we're going to do a preview of the race. Hey, here's who to watch out for. Here's what you want to watch out for. At the big races like the Daytona 500, Coke 600, stuff like that. And hopefully this year we could do it live from Daytona, have some fans there, fan interactions, who you're watching out for, stuff like that, and incorporate it in there. Later on down the line, we have a few months to plan about that, but very excited about that merger. You can still listen to us on Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts, but this is another way to get our name out there. And if you, after the racing season, want to just listen to football stuff, go listen to football podcast on there.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that they have a bunch of different podcasts on there. Because, like I said, when I went to the website, I was checking it out. They have like the schedule and the shows that they have, and I think it's pretty cool that they went out and found people that are kind of doing the same thing that we're kind of doing. Just a bunch of people doing podcasts.
It's all new,
newer
podcasts, and we got picked and tapped to be the ones to bring you NASCAR.
That's awesome.
So this is great opportunity. Glad we're here, and looking forward to it, man.
And we continue to still grow here because half of our listenership is through the Unhinged Sports Network.
Yeah, that's been very huge for us.
And I really couldn't be happier with the Unhinged Sports Network. They've done so much for us, and we now have Race Day Unhinged, where we pretty much do a free race show. We are going to Daytona together. We might be going to Pocono together, and they're working on media credentials for every track pretty much from Talladega, Atlanta, Charlotte, Bristol, Darlington, you name it. And the marbles might be there one day. So stand by, man. It's a great thing, and I'm so glad they gave us a shot back in October. It's 3 months in, and I couldn't be happier, man. Really couldn't be happier with the Unhinged Sports Network. But Preston, I mean, what are your views on the Unhinged Sports Network?
I love it. I have listened to. I have a couple different podcasts I listen to, but it's just overall. Like I said, overall, it's just awesome that we are a part of a sports network where we have all these people that are doing their own little podcasts from their, wherever they're doing from, probably from their houses or whatever. But they're kind of just like us, we wanted to start a podcast. We're just a bunch of fans of the sport.
Enthusiastic amateurs.
Yeah, enthusiastic amateurs. Unhinged Sports Network is really, really cool, and I think it's going to go places. You just have to give it some time. But I mean,
like anything else, you got to give it time to develop and grow, man.
I think I think the ideas that the creators had, I think it's just awesome. I think it's really cool, and it's definitely going to go places. So I love being a part of it.
Yep, I do too, man. I couldn't be happier being a part of it. But I tell you what, man. We're getting down to our final few memories that I have from 2020, our season 2. And I can't wait till season 3. It's going to be a lot more memories, I feel. It's going to be a lot of fun. But this one kind of stuck out to me. It was when I went to Alabama with Caroline to visit my family and met up with Charlie Herkus and went go-karting with him and his new girlfriend, Bailey, there at Adventureland in Dothan.
Episode 44. Karting in Alabama.
We went to TGI Friday which is for one. I'm from Dothan, Alabama, and there's so many good restaurants to choose from. That TGI Fridays, really, is that the best we could do here? But they said it. Okay, we're visiting at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm not from Dothan anymore, I feel. But we went there, had a good dinner. We drank some beers and met the new girlfriend in Charlie's life. Then we decided to go to this place called Adventureland. Now, Adventureland is where I used to work when I was 16, 17, 18. I worked there for a few years before I joined the Marine Corps.
Okay.
And it's kind of one of those miniature golf, putt-putt places with an arcade, batting cages, bumper boats, and go-karts.
So like a Frankie's Fun Park down here.
Sure, it's like a Frankie's Fun Park. I've never been to Frankie's Fun Park in Charleston.
Oh, okay.
So I can't compare the two, but based on what you just said, yeah, it's like a Frankie's Fun Park. That's what it sounds like. And so we went there and we decided to do go-kart racing. Now, these go-karts have governors on them, which are in sense restrictor plates. Mm-hmm. So pack racing's everything. You got to get close to the person. You got to give them a bump in order to get past the person in front of them. First race, we just went, and it was chaotic. A lot of bumping, a lot of banging. Caroline was in there. She was crazy about what was going on here.
Was she trying to wreck you?
Of course. Everybody was trying to wreck me, except Bailey. I give it to Bailey. She was kind of tiptoeing her first race, which is fine. And the rules are no bumping. Who follows that rule?
Nobody
If you're
does.
racing go-karts. Yeah,
No.
right. No bumping. I'm rubbing, and rubbing's racing.
Might as well take the fun out of it if there's no bumping.
Right. There's no rubbing. Let's say that. There's no racing. You
Okay.
can't race. You just drive around. You do essentially they want you to do what Lewis Hamilton does every Formula 1 race,
Which is just get away.
which is just get away, stay away from the other cars, and do whatever. So the first race went by, no problem. We played around the putt-putt, and then we decided, let's race 3 more races, best out of 3.
Okay.
But it was just us. It was just me, Charlie, Bailey, and Caroline, who's all going to race. So it was just us 4. So we decided, and Charlie talked to the guys, and the guys there are pretty cool. If you're cool with them, the workers, if you're cool with them, they're cool with you. And I loved it when race fans would come and race there because I would see a fun race. Mm-hmm. And he said, when we get to this point on the track, that's when you hit the green line. And Charlie made it the point to tell everybody, we file up 2 by 2, and when the green light comes on, we go.
Sounds like a formation lap.
So, yeah, it's a figure 8 track. So we're coming around to turn 1. I'm on the inside. I'm on the right side behind Charlie. And then you have Bailey and Caroline. And at this point, I'm game time. Game face is on. Caroline, it's not my wife next to me. It's another competitor. So we decided we're going to go on green, in which your green light came on. And I kind of anticipated it, with the gas and then go.
You were timing it.
I timed it perfectly because Charlie went the same time as me, and I bumped him, and we went to the lead. And I'm pushing him. I have a fast kart. This is one of those karts that everybody says, hey, which one's the fastest? This one. I think it was number 17 with the wing on it. Great. So I'm pushing him. I see him get loose, so I bump him out of the way. And then I felt a bump from behind. It's Caroline. She figured out, if I bump you, you're going to go faster. I'll catch you. And we'll just she figured out bump drafting.
Oh, okay.
So we passed Charlie. I win that race. The next race, Caroline wins. Great finish. The third race didn't work out so well for me. I had the crappiest kart on the track.
The slowest.
The slowest. And there is no, and I know people say, they're all the same. False.
Yeah, that's a lie.
This is the slowest kart. Because, right when it started up, it was already backfiring like an old school motorcycle who needs a carb adjustment. So I'm starting in the back again because Charlie always started up front.
That's not fair.
That's not fair, but it is what it is. So we go 2 by 2 again. We get going, and I again push Charlie, but then I'm getting hit from the rear a lot. Just bumped the whole way. I realized at that point my kart is not going to compete at all. So I pulled aside and let Bailey and Caroline pass. Go get them. They laughed me.
Oh,
They caught me and laughed at me.
That turned dark really quick.
I now know how Timmy Hill feels. I now know how Williams feels.
Yeah, them especially.
No, it's disheartening. It's horrible.
It's awful, isn't it?
And I pretty much just stayed out of everybody's way. I felt horrible.
You were just one of those go or go home cars.
I was a field filler.
Field filler, that's right.
It was horrible. Or in Formula 1 terms, a back marker. I had no such thing as racing for me at that race. It was just right in the back, stay out of everybody's way, don't pull a Quinn Hoff. We'll get more into that later.
Yeah, we will get more to that one.
First of all, if you're curious to know what we said about Quinn Hoff, go listen to that episode. Second of all, that was a fun episode. I had a lot of fun. And speaking of Charlie, we had him on in studio in Charlie Herkus Returns. I forget the episode number, but he was in studio. That was a really fun episode. But we also had 3 interviews, 2 with drivers and 1 with my cousin Ross. You weren't there for the cousin Ross because I think you were sick with COVID. COVID just started and I had to fill time, and Ross was willing to come on the show. But we talked to Ross, and we also talked to Owen Smith.
Yep.
For the first time. A longtime fan of the show, Owen, shout out to you. Big shout out to you. ARCA Series driver. And then Kyle Summers was on the show not once in 2020, but twice. Second time in announcing his Vors touring series, and first time just us getting to know him. But the difference between the first interview and the second one was the phone. And we had a phone interview. The next time we had Skype. Skype's changed the world, and it is awesome. And I tell you what, every episode with those guys has been fun. And stand by for more episodes because you're not going to want to miss season 3 of In the Marbles. It's going to be a great time, man. But before we get into my top memory of 2020, we're going to take a quick break and have a Teespring read and a few reads from the Unhinged Sports Network. This is In the Marbles Best of 2020, our Christmas special, and we'll be right back after these messages.
Hey Rays fans, I'm Preston from In the Marbles. Like what you just watched, be sure to hit the subscribe button below, and if you're looking for more content, you can find some videos right here to the left of me.